Kofi, talk to us, brother.
Kind of reject the framing a little bit, only because the
I
right
reject your
has.
premise.
Well, no, I don't reject the premise. I reject the how it's being presented, like the question, because let me tell you what I mean. Mental health should not be something that's politicized, and the right has been doing that. Mental health, just health. Period. Getting vaccinations, things like that. They saying Trump saying don't use Tylenol because it causes autism. Shit that was never politicized. The right is politicizing it. So when it comes to mental health, right, the right says they care about it, just like what G says. The right says they care about it, but Trump and Republicans is defunding mental health organizations. That the government has, like suicide hotlines, right? That the government provides. They're disbanding that. You know what I'm saying? So let's say if you're a vet, I know vets, that they really need someone to talk to, right? And Trump got rid of that. So overall, when it comes to mental health, when it comes to the right at this moment right now, and they're not making any noise about it. That's why I said the right is. That's why I'm blaming all of the right, saying they don't care about mental health because you just banning mental health. So every time, if it's a shooter, like you says, and the person is a white male, with no political affiliation, especially when Trump was assassinated twice, there's a bunch of MAGA people that try to kill Trump, but they're saying, "Oh, mental health." But if it's a black person or something like, it's a black person like that, oh, it's how they are. Or if it's it's trans person, it's mental health. It has nothing to do with gun reform. It has nothing to do with that. So I would say that's why I kind of reject the framing in the political sense of politicizing mental health. But
I guess like if we're speaking to it, because rejecting the framing of that it shouldn't be politicized is different than, like, to me, like, do you agree that it is politicized though?
Yeah.
And that one side has pushed for mental health advocacy and one's kind of pushed somewhat against it, or just remaining, what things are as is.
Yes, it's a policy. So if you have a policy,
right, but to me, like, that's the culture we're apart, and then separating, like,
the Republicans make it a culture thing versus, well, this is a policy. This is something that we're putting for because the American people need. And then they're saying, then the right saying, look at these soy boys telling you about your feelings. That's where it gets politicized.
Yes.
And that's not where it gets politicized, though. It gets politicized, and like we just had a case here in North Carolina where the guy had mental health, and because Democrats are soft on mental health, somebody ended up losing their life, unfortunately. And that's where that's a bigger
politicized.
Explain that to me. How were they soft on mental health? That I don't understand.
Well, the guy, you haven't seen Trump even talked about it. Where the guy, he had a history of mental health issues. The Democrats had give chance after chance after chance. It had been documented. His family had complaints, and every time he went to jail, he would always get out, and it was just a soft stance. And he was they let him out, and somebody got killed.
Johnny,
it was the bus incident.
The local government, not the
I don't know if you would frame that as the issue with the Dems. I think that anything, one would probably point closer to the Republicans' regulation on mental health facilities and services than you would the Dems' empathy for mental health and their want to help more people that have mental health.
But I guess maybe. But I think that's the framing of it though, where like we're talking about like
that is how it gets politicized, yes.
But I'm talking about services though. Like you talking about like I think there should be more services, and that shouldn't be.
Yeah, Dems are for more services. Like traditionally, classically, like the Republicans, the right tends to be against it and more for like prison and yeah.
Well, yeah, maybe I need to rethink what I'm saying because I might be on the opposite side.
But
nonetheless, the other way.
But nonetheless, I guess I was just saying that to me, it sounds like Kofi, more than rejecting the premise, it seems like you just have like a really strong stance on the fact that the left is winning the policy and the right is really, really wrong.
Because they're wrong to politicize it, and if they're for the American people, and
right, but that's different.
Not be against a service like that,
right? But I think that there's just a different conversation, in my opinion. Like, because oh man, talk to us.
Mental health, I don't think it's a left or right thing. I think it's just an American issue that all of us need to be accountable for and be what's the word I'm thinking of? Just better collaborate. There's a political term for that, but I forgot. But
bipartisan.
Bipartisan. Thank you. So mental health to me, I don't care how many programs you have, when you create a system where it's medically okay to change who you biologically are, that's something beyond just like.
Listen, we're gonna get to the LGBT.
Oh, you okay? Well,
yeah, we talking about like schizophrenia and bipolar.
Yeah. We just talking
I'll
about.
Let you get there. Then I'm done. I'll wait.
That's just regular.
I'll let his levels to it, right, Johnny? I got this. All right.
Yeah. All right.
Go ahead, continue then.
All right. So before we get to one of the more favorite topics, let's go immigration. There's this typical stance that traditionally the left is a little bit more pro-immigration, allow more in. The right is a little bit more anti-immigration. Recently, we have seen a rise of people being against immigration during like the previous election that Trump won, where he ran primarily on immigration and a couple other things. Since his election, there has also been a turn where whether it's some of his promises weren't quite the exact promises that he had promised, or people didn't like what the actions of his promises look like. This being like the ICE agents grabbing people, grandmas, people that was here for like the past 30 years, pulling up to the elementary schools, pulling up to the Home Depots, the rundown of ICE inside DC, Chicago.